Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another session here in Readers Magnet's featured author interview. My name is Leanne. I will be your host for today, and with me is one of the Readers Magnet's featured author, and of course, one of the most valuable author we have. And today, she will be sharing to us what exactly the book is all about, her as an author, and what inspired her to write this book. So, everyone, let's all welcome our one and only Miss Theresa Wee, author of the book My COVID-19 Diary: Practical Tips and Scriptures for Improbable Times from an American Doctor. All right. Hello, Theresa. How are you doing? It's good to see you.
Yeah, aloha Leah from Hawaii. Mm.
That's good to hear. All right. So, yes, Teresa, this is the moment that we've been waiting for because it's now time to know more information about your book. But before we do that, I wanted you to, give us a little bit of information about who you are as an author, maybe a little bit of self introduction. Yes, please.
So I was born and raised in Hawaii, the state of Hawaii, and I've been a practicing pediatrician for 40 years. And I have a private practice, and um, basically, I have four children and five grandchildren. So I utilize a lot of my personal and medical experience as I was writing this book during the pandemic.
Okay, so wow, it's very interesting because this is also about your experience about, as a doctor, as a pediatrician. Wow, that's
Right.
interesting.
Yeah.
All
During
right. Thank you.
COVID, everyone turned to us
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
for help. And it was a sink or swim moment because we didn't even know what was going on. And yet people were looking to us for help. And so that was a very interesting time that we all went through.
Mm-hmm. Right. So that is where really the what do you call this one? The inspiration really came out, during this, which is yes, all about COVID-19. Okay, thank you so much for that, Teresa. So yes, it's now time to know more information about that. So will you please let us know what exactly the book is all about? I mean, it's more of like it's more than just about COVID-19. So yes.
Yes. So when it was announced that we could no longer see patients in our office, I wanted to be able to reach out so many people, my loved ones, my patients, my friends. People were saying, "What are we going to do? We're locking down." And I was just overwhelmed and I didn't know what to tell them, but I decided to write daily blogs on the first day of our shutdown, March 23rd, 2020. I made a decision to, out of fear and anxiety, I said, let me just post on social media a daily blog and, just in real time, just talk about my thoughts about the shutdown and how it was affecting me, not only as a doctor, but also as a human
Mhm.
being. And,
Right.
really writing down my fears and my anxieties and my hopes. And then for myself as a Christian, I ended the first blog with a scripture which I found comforting.
Wow,
And
that's
so I began doing this daily, and lo and behold, people really resonated with it. People would tell me, they would email me and say, "Oh, I'm waiting for your blog, like the newspaper, what are you going to write about today?" And once again, I did have more time on my hand. I had
Mhm.
never, I don't consider myself an author. I'm a physician, but I said, you know what? Let me, I was never at a loss to write a blog. It could be something like physically, like what I was doing to stay healthy,
Mhm.
mentally, what can we do to, alleviate our anxiety? What was I doing spiritually for my soul? These are all things, as human beings that I thought were helpful, and I would write it down in the daily blog.
Wow, that's really good to hear, Theresa. I mean, from that very moment where, lockdown is already going on, you already showed the importance of way to really prevent COVID-19. I mean, reducing exposure means really following imposed guidelines on quarantine and at the same time distancing yourself from others, which is also could really affect us as a human being, because there are
Yeah.
times we cannot really go out, would not be able to see our friends, family, but at the
Mhm.
same time, um you writing this book, it's not just about, hey, you need to stay healthy, but of course, and how to really condition your mind to be really physically and mentally ready on these kinds of
Right.
challenges.
And I wanted people to know that, you know, don't panic, don't give up. Um, tomorrow is a new day.
Hmm.
And I share my past experiences with the sudden loss of my husband 14 years ago, and
Hmm.
how I came, came out of that depression. And, so there
Right.
were a lot of personal stories that I shared. And this is what I'm doing. It's a suggestion for you. So even though the pandemic is over, there are many, many people. I see it every day in my office. I'm a pediatrician, and the kids, the teens, they're undergoing a lot of depression and anxiety and fear, even though the pandemic is over. And I think a lot of the seniors are also experiencing that. We lost a lot of loved ones,
Hmm.
and it's just very dark and gloomy out there right now, with our
Right.
political situation, and just the
Hmm.
whole world is was turned upside down. So I feel that this book can help anyone of any age to really pick it up, open it anywhere, and get a little bit of encouragement.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. And you know what, Theresa, it's really such a good kind of book because again, it's not just about sharing your experience during the COVID-19, but at the same time advocating for a specific cause and agenda, to really take note of the important symptoms, mental health conditions, and
yeah,
you mentioned earlier about depression and anxiety. Yes, there's really a lot going on because it is really a traumatic experience when you
yeah,
lost someone from the family, and it's actually an eye opener to have these kinds of book right now to, hey, you need to get up, need to do something, you need
yeah,
to come up with a solution, and not to also be affected. I mean, it's not really how I mean, we cannot really control someone's feelings, but at the same time, hey, you got to do something about this.
yeah. And
Wow.
there are practical tips that I put in
Hmm.
there. Go take a walk, continue to connect. If you don't want to go in person, you can always, FaceTime,
True.
call someone up, write
Use
a
the power
letter.
of social media.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Exactly. Right. And you know what? I believe that in this book, also, Teresa, you've also created some tips on how to, really prevent COVID-19, which is, can you tell us more about that? And also here, I believe that, this is your own experience to start. What was the most exciting, or is there any surprising moment that you have discovered while writing this book?
So when I first wrote the book, I was writing out of fear, anxiety. But then as time went on, I found that journaling, it was actually my daily journal. I was able to review the day and what my thoughts were, and I began to get more hope and encouragement. And so that was the most surprising thing. And to this day, I still try to journal daily, just for my own sake. And I would suggest that for many people, because it just makes you reflect on your day, and it helps you to set goals in the future. But you mentioned a question earlier. What can you do to prevent not only COVID, but
Hmm. Other illnesses.
other
Yes.
illnesses?
Hmm.
You have your health in your hand. I encourage everyone, you gotta eat healthy, you gotta exercise a little, you gotta have a routine so you get regular sleep. If you have stress, you gotta de-stress. And so turn off that screen and move into action, because when our immune system is strong, we're going to feel better, and we're going to ward off, chronic illness and mental stress. So really, we do have a lot of control. And that's what I want to encourage people. I to this day in my office, I encourage all of my parents to be good role models, and
Hmm.
encourage your children to eat healthier and turn off the screens and spend time as a family. So I'm
Right.
really big with that.
Yes, and you know what? Spending time with family is really priceless. So hey, come on, it's for free. So I mean, you don't need to really spend a lot of money. Just be with them, listen, and also share your experience. And wow, I
And
mean,
that's
it's
all
just
our kids want. They just want to know, even if you spend
exactly.
5 or 10 minutes a day, put it into the schedule, because they just want to know that you love them, and when they need you, you'll be there. So I think that's so important for the family, and the family to be
Mhm.
engaged in healthy habits.
Right.
And but like I said, this particular COVID book, it a lot of the seniors have commented to me. It really gives them hope and encouragement. And I've had people who are not even Christians want to read the Bible. They said, "Wow, those scriptures were so comforting for me." And
Hmm.
again, you don't have to be a Christian to read this book, but it's
Right.
lots of good feedback about that.
Yes. And you know what, Theresa, I just wanted to bank on what you said earlier because again, you've talked about family. Now, since this book of yours is really a successful creation, I mean, you've been getting a lot of positive feedback, 5-star rating, from the person that you do not know, which, read your book. Now, can you tell me if what was the impact of you writing this book, I mean, to you and to your loved ones?
You know, at first I didn't realize that there were many people looking on social media, but I guess we had
Hmm.
more time on our hand. But I do think I had gotten many, many positive feedback,
Right.
about how, we're all imperfect. No one is perfect. And, this is just my own record of what I'm doing. And I'm hoping that, I'm giving people suggestions as to how perhaps they could help themselves mentally, physically, spiritually. And so I think in view of the adverse conditions we were under during COVID, and even now, I'm hoping that people do see there's light at the end of the tunnel. Just pick
I like
yourself
that.
up, take one step, take one day at a time. Don't give up. You have the power to improve your health. And I just want people not to give up. And our loved ones, we want everyone to thrive. We've got to live every day as if it's our last. And that's what we were put on this planet. We each have a purpose in our life, and we need to live each day to its fullest.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Teresa. I mean, I really appreciate it, you also saying these words. I mean, it's very priceless because, again, everyone, for those who are watching, everybody needs this, because this can be used to all aspects of life. Because, again, it will really prepare you mentally, physically, and also spiritually. And this is just so amazing. All right. Now, Teresa, I really wanted you to take this opportunity to say, what do you really wanted to say of readers who wanted to who wanted to read your book, and
Uh-huh.
those readers as well whom you've helped for whom you've helped for this book.
So, this book, you can pick it up and open it at any point. There's a lot of personal pictures, but I want you to know that we're all going through this together. No one is an exception. And
Hmm.
so when you read the words I've written, just know that we need to help one another get through these difficult times. No one can do it alone. You know, if you're feeling sad, or if you're feeling, just giving up hope, reach out. or maybe you're doing okay, but if you see someone who needs help, reach out to them and help them. So I want everyone to, we all need to hold hands during this time and be kind and compassionate, and know that we are in a difficult period, even post COVID, but
Right.
we will make it through. And we want everyone, our loved ones and friends, to make it through in the best possible way. But I do think my book can give you that hope and encouragement that we all need. And I'm no exception. Sometimes you put doctors way up there, but in
Mm-hmm.
the end, we're all human beings, and we're all on this planet together. So let's all cooperate and be kind to one another.
Yes, thank you so much, Theresa. I really like that. The lessons we have learned from the COVID-19 pandemic underscore the importance of implementing effective policies to improve, let's say, food environments, encourage physical activity, and protect the health and well-being of families out there.
Yes.
Wow. Yes, and here, Teresa, what do you think your readers? What do you want your readers to take away after reading your book?
I think if they walk away feeling, I can do this, I can take a baby step. I haven't been feeling real good. Maybe I need to go outdoors and get 5 minutes of sunshine, or maybe I need to just call my son or daughter. You know, I'm hoping that this book will leave you some, you know, inspiration to do something, because we can talk, but we got to move into action. Um,
Right.
and perhaps maybe if you haven't been to church, maybe that's something you might want to explore. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe explore something new, meditation, trying to get a little more sleep, taking time to turn off your screen, talk to your children, talk to your grandchildren. I think hopefully this book will kind of nudge you towards doing something positive. And that's all. It's not going to change your life, but at least a little bit of hope, encouragement, and inspiration to make changes.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Teresa. You know what? It was really an interesting discussion. Thank you so much for gracing us today. And most importantly, for really taking Reader's Magnet to this journey of yours. It's really
Yeah.
an honor, Teresa. Thank you so much. And wow, everyone, our one and only Miss Teresa Wee, author of the book, My COVID-19 Diary,
And thank you to
Practical Tips.
Readers Magnet for helping me get the word out.
Well, it's an honor. Thank you so much, Teresa. And yes, um, I really like it. I also wanted you to really, don't just focus on the destination, focus on the journey.
Yes,
Wow, that's
exactly.
awesome. Thank you so much, Teresa. And yes, as we say it here in Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world. Thank you so much.
Hello.